Hello there, and welcome to Night Tailoring Services. How may I be of service to you today? Alright, excellent. A full body measurement. I can certainly get that done. First, I will take your name. Let me just find a fresh page for you. Alright, if you could spell it out, that would be fantastic. Alright, so let's get started. We will begin with the head. So I'm going to take a few measurements here. First, I will take the height of the head, then I will take the width, then I will take the depth along from the back to the front. Then I will take a measuring of the circumference around the skull, and then I will do one final measurement, which is a neck measurement from where your neck hits your shoulders up to your sort of jawline. This will help to fit collars for any clothes with collars. Alright, I'll get started then. So first off, let's do the head length. And now I'll move on to the width. Alright, and now the depth. Alright, finally let me do the circumference. This one's a bit of a tricky measurement. Alright, and this little neckline here. Right, that's the head measurements done, and I will just jot those down. Alright, now that the head is done, this will be used for things like hat fittings, any sort of headwear you might wear. Okay, now we will move on to the body. So we'll begin by, if you can remove your jacket, I can get better, closer measurements to your body for more accurate fitting. I'll just give you a moment there. Just going to make a note of something. Alright, excellent. Now then, so we'll begin with the arms. If you could just raise your arms up slightly. Yep, just like that. That's excellent. Then I can take the first few measurements. So to begin with, I will take a measurement along the top of the arm, then I'll do one underneath each arm, then finally I will do from the armpit down to about the hips. This is used for determining where jackets and shirts should finish along your hip line. Okay, I'll begin with the left arm. And the under measurement. And now moving on to the right arm. And the lower measurement. Alright, now I will take the armpit measurement down to the hip on both sides, then I will level them out to get the ideal fitting for your body, the ideal length. Alright, let me just jot those down as well. There is a slight difference in your arms, but that's perfectly normal. Alright, so let's move on to the biceps. So if for this one you can have your arms completely out, straight, yep, just like that. Alright, so I'm going to take a measurement around the bicep, then I'll do one around the forearm, then I'll do the wrists on each arm. If you can just stay relaxed for now. Alright. Well, as in relax your arms, but keep them up. Alright. Left arm first. And now the forearm. And finally the wrist. Okay, I'll just jot the first arm down, then we'll move on to the next one. Alright, the right arm. And the forearm, and finally the wrist. Alright, so I'll jot that arm down now. Fairly even the arms, just a slight difference. Okay, now if you can flex your arms up like this and flex them, then I can get another measurement which will help me to figure out what happens when you're moving about, how the clothes will fit. Alright, that's excellent. You can just hold it like that for a moment. Left arm first. And now the right arm. Alright, you can relax now. I won't bother taking the tensed forearm or leg measurements as they don't change as much as the bicep. Alright, so that's the biceps done. Now you can relax your arms again, and I will just take your chest measurement next. We'll come back to the hands afterwards, once you've rested your arms to the side. Okay, so I'll just go around the widest point of the chest. And if you could just puff out your chest as much as you can. I'll take another measurement, just because there might be a slight difference or a large difference. Alright, excellent. I'll just jot those down. Now I will measure your waist, so I'll just go around the circumference and then I'll do the hips, and then you can rest your arms. Alright, you can just be relaxed here. Oops. Apologies, there's a little bit of clutter in the studio today. Excellent. Now you can rest your arms. Alright, now I will just take your hand measurements very quickly. you can just leave them down by your side. I'll just measure them in place. And I'll grab the width as well. I'll just check the other one as well. Yep, very similar. There's always slight differences between the two sides, but that's just perfectly normal. So I'll just jot them down as well. Alright. So all we have left are the legs, the ankles and the feet. So I'll get started on those. You don't have to worry about any particular stance or anything. How you're standing is fine. Okay, I'll do the left, as I always start with the left for some reason, even though I'm right-handed. Okay. And the inner seam measurement. Okay, now just do the right leg, outer seam, then inner seam. Alright, let's just jot them down. Alright, again, alright. It's my catchphrase by now. So, let us do the feet. Oh, actually, I will move on to the circumference of the quads, the calves, and the ankle before I measure the feet. Alright, let's start on the quads first. Okay, and I'm going to take both these measurements at once. Right, now I think I'll just move on and do all the measurements up until the feet and then write them down afterwards. So, left calf and the right calf. Now I'll move on to the ankles. Right, I will write those down. Don't want to have to remember too much and forget something. So, alright, now I'll move on to the feet, which is the final thing for today. Alright, I'll just measure those. We'll go for the length and width of the feet. And now I'll move on to the other foot. Right, I'll write down those last measurements. Right, so that is all the measuring done for today, and that's the end of the session. I hope this has been a pleasant and relaxing experience for you. Oh, there is one last detail I need from you actually. I need a contact number or email address. Excellent. Okay, so that's you all done for today. We've measured your head, measured the body, and that should be everything you need for any sort of tailoring or fitting needs. If you would like any more of our services, such as further measurements or tailoring services, please feel free to come back to us, and I hope you've enjoyed your visit to the night tailoring service. Alright, so thank you for coming, and I'll see you again. Goodbye.